Education is key to success. We haven't taught our parents that. Each one have to teach one. Must bond beside the one. We haven't taught us. Each one got to teach one. Let's learn from one another. Let's go.
Hello, I'm Khalil Osiris. Welcome to Each One Teach One. For more than a year, the Fees Must Fall movement has dominated our media channels and been the source of demonstrations and divisions among families and communities across the country. Joshua's experience predates student activism, but clearly shows us the heavy weight of expectations versus the stark reality of what students have to deal with when arriving at university in a city that doesn't care, coming from a village that hasn't prepared them.
Joshua Zita. I'm from Nelspruit, Gadanji, 24 years old. Ngiphuma efamilini la si6 khona. Mina ngwes4. Ngikhulise umama kuphela. Kuloko as life endlini bengekho lula. Uma beka owner a small business, a brewery and a shipping at the same time. Ku shipping beka thengisa ama beer, like normal beers and cigarettes. Then ku brewery beka pheka utshwala besintu normally emakhaya bakubita ukuthi isipayoni. So that's how she was making a living. Umama bekavuka ekseni every day besimsiza like ngokuthi simlandele inkuni because kufuna abase lapho ayoba ayenza khona lokho tshwala. Normally uma siphuma esikolweni sim like sihamba labangani bethu masiyekhaya then somthola asendleleni aphusha le bar. Maybe sometimes ushova 2 igubhu which is ama 20 liter or 4 years. Then uma uhlala labanye bangani bakho labanga understand ekhayini ukuthi niphila kanjani beba like bebangayithathi ngendlela e right basihleka and everything. So most of ufika kusasa esikoleni you need to explain yourself ukuthi nekhayini nithengisa into esona which is isipayoni ngale emakhaya ayisinto abayithatha ngento e right actually. Even nama neighbors wethu beyangayithathi right because uma apheka laphana uma upheka usebenzisa inkuni kahle kuphuma intuthu. So ama neighbors azocomplain ukuthi ubangcolisela like ilona impahla mabawashile sometimes uma balele bahogela leyo ntuthu leyo. Kuloko ama neighbors wethu sometimes anokubiza amaphoyisa ukuthi like sibabangela intuthu and nalo tshwala esiphisayo abukho emthethweni. Uma wami ngakuwo konke lebeyakwenza kithi kahle kahle uyela ngi-inspireile ukuthi ngikhone ukuchubeka esikoleni ngizimisele kakhulu esikoleni akazange alahle lithemba everyday. So kuloko bekahlala asitshela everyday ukuthi okay if ungakhona ke esikolweni nomina njengoba ngingakhona ke esikolweni ungakhona ukuthi uyitshintshe impilo yalandla. In 2010 I was doing my matric actually. Uma ngathola ama results ngo December. UJ iyo university yokuqala lenga-apply kuyo leya reply yangitshela ukuthi bangi-acceptile then January I can come for registration and everything. But benginganayo ibhasari at that time and bengizamile uku-apply kulama emabhasari but angizange ngathola any response. So ubhuti wami lo munye at that time bekasengasebenzi kahle kahle bekabamba lapho nalapho. So bekangisita kakhulu ngetindzaba application fee ne res application fee also because bekufuna sibhadale i-deposit. Bengibhadale everything when it comes to i-res yase-UJ and everything. So uma ngifika la UJ ngaya that register res manager and everything wafika wangitshela ukuthi no igama lami liku-waiting list actually abangi-acceptanga ukuthi ngingayohlala e-res. So the first day ngifika ngala Jozi ngila ngaba stranded khona because imali le benginayo esikhwameni beku-150, which is at that time i-taxi beyi-150. But uma ngingabala kahle bengeke ngikhone kusuka from Auckland Park to Jozi, then eJozi ngibuyele eMpumalanga. Uma ngifika eJozi beng-expecta ukuthi vele ngiyoba nendawo yokuhlala, but uma sengithola ukuthi angisanayo indawo yokuhlala, I was afraid because iJozi idume ukuthi kugcwele inkundli and ungagcine nje so ungena kuletinye izinto longafuni ukuthi utende, which is ungagcine so thengisa impahla takho just ukuthi ukhone ukuthola imali ukuthi ubuyele ne-spread. Umuntu okucala engamfonela ekhaya ngafonela uma, but uma because akanawo abantu abadliwe la Jozi, so wathi ngikhulume nosisi wami omkhulu, which is the first born yasekhaya uLindiwe, then uye lo wangihlanganisa no uButhulane, ngibita ukuthi uButhulane Mngemezulu, wafonela uThulane Nwamba, but at that time uThulane bekaseLimpopo, angizange ngakhona ukuthi sikhulume kahle, but yena wangifonela naye wangidirector to uAyanda. U-Ayanda naye bekenza i-social work e-UJ, nguye lo wangithatha wangibeka la abahlala khona eBrixton. Ukufika kwami la Jozi, into ebengizela la Jozi ukutofunza kahle kahle. Kodwa bangifika la Jozi izinto zange ahamba ngale ndlela bengibuye ngakhona, so kwafuna ukuthi ngithole lenye indlela yokuphila.
While we all have our own opinions on the fees must fall movement, the reality for many rural families is that their children's opportunity for academic success is often overshadowed by the fact that they simply cannot afford the cost of a university education, even with the help of the National Student Financial Aid Scheme.
Bengingabhadali i-rent and i-landlord yalaphana bengingadi ukuthi ngihlala lapha. So i-landlord beyifika every Saturday itochecka indlu yayo ilethela lo mama lo cleaner lapha leka. So bekufuna ukuthi ngibhace kahle kahle every time uma ifika le landlord. So sometimes i-landlord boyithuka seyila mnyango seyikokota and inado ikhiya sometimes uyibone seyivulile lapha ikuthole usendlini, then ungadi nothi to explain uthini. Kodwa bengimtshela ukuthi okay no uThulane usaphumile uyabuya manje, mara mina ngithi bengifike for langa leli 1. Register for electrical engineering e-UJ APK. Kodwa baba sekuqala umnyaka ukuthi sibiyele singene esikolweni, into azange tahamba ngale ndlela bengibuye ngakhona because angizange ngakhona kuba nemabhuku masengingenile phakathi esikolweni ukuthi ngikhone ukuchubekela phambili nami because bengenda 6 ma-module first year yami. Ibhuku lebenginalo belile maths kuphela, la amanye amabhuku benginganawo. Bekufuna ukuthi ngirely kuma-notes laba wafaka esikolweni, kodwa kuloko akazange asite kakhulu ama-notes because ama-lecture bavele nje ba-browse through i-summary yako konke nje yale chapter leyo. Kodwa wena umfundi kufuna uye phakathi ebhukwini la utofunza u-understand into khona. I-first year yami actually i-library benginga-understand ukuthi isebenza njani. Bengiyibona yona mara benginga-understand ukuthi isebenza njani. So kuloko bengingade simabhuku lamaningi ungakhona ukuwathola e-library. Ngazama ukuthi ngiphushe ukuthi ngithole ibhasari bangisita ngalaphana esikoleni ukuthi sithole amabhasari lapha ku-department kodwa angizange abanayo lenhlanhla. Ngithola ama-results wami ngoJune ngathola ukuthi bangi-excludile. Angeke ngisakhona ukuchubeka for i-second semester ngoba bengifailile ama-modules layi-4 kule-6 level ngaphasa only 2 yawo. Ekhaya ngabatshela ukuthi ngi-excludiwe esikoleni. Then beyobona vele bebaphusha ukuthi okay because now uyabona ukuthi isimo sinjani kwamanje. Ngabe usale vele ubuya ekhaya then sobona next year ukuthi into ethamba njani. But uThulane wanginika another advice kahle ukuthi ukubuyela ekhaya for wena kutokudamage because you've been through a lot and kuloko nje abantu mabafika ekhaya nje into labatofika kuyo ukuthi so uhlulekile evarsity then yini loyo yenda manje and uma ufika ekhaya nje the way kuso negative ngakhona into lo icabanga ukucala vele ukuthi uma uthole umsebenzi and uyathi uma uthole umsebenzi ungazobe nalo imali lencane you just settle for leyo salary lo ithola which is even if it's not enough but ngabe uthola something. Kunama application form lekufuna uwafile for ukuthi ba reverse that exclusion. So ngaya ku department ngafika nga-apply and everything. Then within that week bangifonela bathi ngite ku-interview. Dr. Laura uye actually beka-conductor ama-interviews nawethu.
I was at that stage doing a postdoctoral research fellowship at the University of Johannesburg in the Faculty of Engineering and focusing on engineering education matters. And my responsibility, one of my responsibilities at that stage was to assist a group of high potential learners, students, who had been excluded despite the fact that they had very good matric results. Joshua was one of those.
But each and every time you have a problem, you can just write to the group layer about a problem. So actually, they like a scale. So 1 out of 10, I just said 1 there. Then they started asking me, what's the problem? I'm actually problem. I'm okay. We got robbed and this and that. And now I don't feel comfortable. I was studying, going to write physics. So being actually ngalanga phandle kuma cottage bengingedwa, which is a cottage to be say upstairs. So when I'm studying, everyone can see the light there, but when I'm sleeping, then you can see the light off. Ngalala around I think 2 o'clock because benginama earphone la makhulu. So ngeva ama earphone hour pants uma ngithi ngiyabuka ngibona kunesandla lesivelako la ngilele khona nje sichamuka like ku fastero then ngafonela amaphoyisa because bekungana muntu lapha endlini.
It was quite shocking for me to discover at that stage that the 3 main reasons for the failure of high potential students like Joshua, failure to perform, was attributed to 3 things, and that was hunger, accommodation and transport. Nothing to do with their abilities, nothing to do with their skills or their potential. And Joshua was struggling with issues like accommodation at that stage. He did not have a stable, secure place to stay.
Sengilo ang ofara inza yokuhlala athi no, ungeta kuhlala nathi la ekhaya. So ngilo ngitanga la ngihlala naye. I think ngaqala ukuhlala naye September 2012.
And then I would look outside the window late at night and see his lights burning. The man is studying. And that was the story throughout his studies, is that light burning late at night. And I know he was paying the price. And he definitely did not have a social life. He chose to study and he made such a success of his studies.
I decided to change from APK to ATFC. That's when I enrolled for a national diploma. and I did very well among FIA ATFC. I passed everything, record time. Then ngawenza training yami ngiqale 2015 ne-resolution circle. This year I enrolled for a BTech degree.
Let's learn from one another. Let's go.
I understand that in coming to Joburg, the trip itself for you was quite an adjustment. Tell me a little bit about emotionally what you went through when you first arrived.
Okay, at first when I left home, it was actually a nice feeling, even though I was a bit scared and everything that I'm gonna be alone in Joburg. But I was happy about leaving to go to varsity. I'll be the first one at home to go to varsity, and everyone was happy for me. When I got to Jozi, everything changed. Frustrations, they started, and it wasn't nice at all when I was stranded with accommodation, everything. So
There were any number of reasons for you to decide to give up, and you being the first one from your family to leave for school, to attend university. Was that pressure on you because you were the first? Did you feel in any way obligated under that pressure?
somehow I did feel the pressure, but my mom, she gave me all the support. She tried since from primary, high school, she gave me all the support, even though she couldn't afford most of the things that we used to do at school. From there, when I got to varsity, she did tell me that I will try by all means to help where I can, even though you can see the situation back home, how it is. So when I got here in Jozi, even though I was stranded, but I used to reflect back on what's happening home. To me, that going back home, it wouldn't help that much, because if I were to settle for a salary every month, 1,000 or 2,000, it wouldn't really change any situation, what's happening back home.
Nora, I understand that you have been involved with Joshua's journey from very early on in his arrival to Joburg and university. You're giving us such an example of what the common person can do if they just take an interest. What is it that motivated you to care? To even care to the point that you would risk your own comfort?
The one issue that obviously got me involved and that I could not ignore was the fact that he did not have accommodation. I think our country is full of people who realize there's a need. I've got a way of providing in this need. So this is really nothing exceptional. For the 4 years, we've almost not known that he was around. He was just, he just excelled in so many ways. He exceeded our expectations. He made it so easy for us to just give him space. That's all we had to do.
Your Phoenix program, this program was geared towards targeting the actual young people who had the potential, but for some reason it hadn't manifest. So have you seen a lot of this in your experience? Young people like Joshua who have the potential, but maybe not the structure, the stability, and the support?
That is absolutely a common occurrence. Even though I'm not involved in that work at the moment in that same capacity anymore there, it is something that luckily the universities since 2012, even before that, some of the universities have become more and more aware of the fact that these non-academic issues have a direct impact on the academic performance of students. And it's definitely a common problem in our country.
For you, Joshua, what was the occasion like once you finally got that graduation?
Okay, it really didn't start well because my mom couldn't attend the graduation. Actually, the same business, the one that we grew up actually living upon it, it's the same business that made her sick at that point, because she contracted TB from the smoke that she used to do every day. So with that, it really saddened me when she couldn't come to my graduation, which is, I think it's the most important thing that happened in my life at that point. But yeah, she's getting better as time goes on.
What would you say to a young person from some rural area and a rural part of that area coming or dreaming even that they can come to Joburg and actually be successful?
Okay. First, I would say determination. You need to know what you want in life. That's one thing. Then it depends on the choices that you make as a human being, that if you want this thing and how bad do you want that thing.
We hear so many negative stories in the media. We hear about people's sense of entitlement. We hear about people's racism. We hear about all these negatives, but we never get a chance to see a really healthy relationship that crosses all the cultural, ethnic, racial, and even gender lines and divides in a way that benefits us, in a way that celebrates what the best of South Africa is. So part of my joy in doing this story is that both of you have come to this occasion with an equal respect for the other's humanity, the other's potential. Joshua's story is unusual because of its very positive outcome. His experience tells us a great deal about Joshua's strength of character, and we can only commend him for his achievements. But the larger lesson his journey teaches us all is that the most effective way to improve the education system is with the involvement and support of students, parents, and educators working together. In the words of Advocate Thuli Mandasela, our children should not have to sleep in a toilet to get an education. I'm Khalil Osiris. This is Each One Teach One. And until we meet again next week, stay in the light.